I'm Nikki, and I'm going to take this video to go through where to find woven blankets if you're starting print on demand like I am, what the pros of starting with this are, what the cons are when it comes to designing and shipping and costs and things like that. I am a newbie and I have design experience and I love organizing information, so this is probably actually what I'm better at. So save a lot of time and come learn from me. First off, we want to know where we can get woven blankets from. When I first made this video yesterday, I said, get them from Shine On, and I don't know anywhere else to get them, and it's pretty great shipping and all this. But if you're Canadian, that actually doesn't work, I discovered, because on their website, it does not clearly state it, but there's a lot of things they can't ship to Canada. And if they accidentally take your money, they will offer you a refund in Shine On dollars, which isn't that great if you don't know if you're ever going to use their site again, and also it's not your fault you had to cancel. So that's how I feel about them right now. But they're in my email inbox and are asking the higher up powers if I can have a refund. So we will see what happens. So where else can you find things? Well, I spent an hour and a half putting together all of this because I had my first order and I wanted to fulfill it and I didn't know where I could. I ended up canceling it. I'll get to that later. This spreadsheet here is available in the comment caption section of YouTube if you would like to use it. It is especially useful if you are Canadian because this is harder to do print on demand when you are Canadian. Everything is in Canadian dollars, and I picked the first couple sites that worked and gave you a couple notes about things that would be important to consider. So my picture froze, but I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep woven blankets is that they hide imperfections really well. This is a mock-up that I did with my friend's dog who has been generated to look like it's in a Halloween costume, which I absolutely adore. And AI designing isn't perfect, and your designing isn't going to be perfect either. And that's okay because the texture hides things a lot nicer than if it's your design like right smooth on a t-shirt or a sweater. So for beginners, I think that that's a big thumbs up. Also for people who are detail oriented like I am, because I could spend and have spent hours on Photoshop designing leggings and blankets and things to be like top notch as if it's $1 million product. And I've come to realize that at the end of the day, I have no idea if this is going to sell or not. So I really would be stupid for me to spend 4 hours or 3 hours or even 1 hour doing the design. It needs to be done to the point that I can do a mock-up. And then if it actually does sell, I can fine-tune it all before I send the customer the product because I know what I'm doing design-wise. There are still decent ship times and cost to Canada, which is great because sometimes they're like 20 or 30 days shipping. Americans, sometimes it's just easier to be all. Oh, this is left over from Shine On saying variable shipping rate products, which actually means we don't ship out of US for this product. Who knew? Other pro is that these are really easy to mock up. You can just take one flat image and it goes right on the blanket, and it's way simpler than leggings that have 2 legs and maybe a high waistband and things just get messy. Now for the con is that while it's easy to mock up, it's actually impossibly difficult to find mock-ups. Sites like Placeit, you can go and find, I'm sure, like 1 million different designs to put your t-shirt on, which is simple, but they don't have any woven blankets. I also got an account with Creative Fabrica so I could download all of the pre-made designs that I want. Not that I've used it that much yet. And they have one woven blanket design, which is awesome for autumn. So if you're starting in that season, good for you. Other than that, you can use Etsy, but Etsy is easily, this is in the US for some reason, easily $8 to $20 a pop. And that's not cool if you don't know if you're ever going to use these mock-ups again, and if you don't have Photoshop skills to do it yourself. So the alternative I can tell you about is whether or not you're using Shine On or Guten, they give you mock-ups that you can use. This one didn't generate properly. Some of them you could take and download as they are. But other ones, like if they're holding the blanket up or there's no background, you can go into Shopify if that's what you're using, which is 60 Canadian, 43 US a month, and you can hit remove background and type in what the subject is and what background you want. I find that if the white space is very small, what it can do is super limited. But if there's a lot of white space, it does a better job putting a house or something in the background. And this goes a long way in saving you time because you don't know if your top starting products are going to sell or not. So this helps you just cut through so much red tape. Another con, if you are using Shine On, is that it's really finicky. It has to be specifically a JPEG and 4800 by 5760 pixels in portrait or horizontal mode. They have like 2 separate listings for each, or 1 separate listing for each. The other mock-ups that I tried while I was putting that spreadsheet together, they all were also pretty limited as well. So don't expect to be doing much editing on the blanket live the way you would if you were doing a t-shirt on Printify or something. How's it going? Well, I said at the beginning that I did my 10 Halloween files and I got my first sale. That was the blanket and I was so excited, but I also said that I had to refund it. Before I refunded it, when I first made this video, here's what it was looking like. I listed for 135 Canadian. I'm with 50% discount, so it sold for 65, and my fees were 43, 16, 9, 8, 25 cents, $1, and I lost $12. Because I'm Canadian, and my Shopify was in American, and my Etsy was in Canadian, and I didn't realize. And so when I converted, I made a mistake. So I owed $12, and it's not the end of the world that I had to refund. Before I did this, I was also remembering that I did Facebook PPE $1 campaigns from Joe Roberts, and I spent $23 there so far. And then I was doing a sales campaign, that's like a $5 a day thing, which also tanked, and I spent $64 on that. So I was negative 97 Canadian for these so far. Well, it's only like September 4th, and these are Halloween items, so I could be totally fine. But if not, this is part of learning. And it costs a little bit of money, which is why I like the $1 campaigns. The $5 campaigns personally aren't doing it really well for me, but it might just be that I am not meant for marketing and I'm more meant for putting all of the information down. Because, something about a history of being autistic or something. I don't know. So that is me and my experience with them so far. I think they would be a super great thing to start with, especially for anyone who is unsure about their design skills and is looking to save time. And I would like to know, are you going to try them? Would they be good for you? Or have you tried them? And if so, how did it go? Let me know in the comments. And if there's anything else you would like me to share from my horror story about, please do let me know. My name is Nikki. I am Canadian novice print on demander. Take care.